We're back with more Nerd Radio.
Roger me, will call me, anything. Hello, Earth.
And now, back to the nerds.
Welcome back. It's more Nerd Radio, wherever you're getting your podcast. It's part of the BPod Studios network and all over your social media at Nerd Radio 101. Chuck Bean, Al Beck, and James sitting in the Checkpoint XP studios for another week and talking about all things nerd. We were discussing the Super Bowl ads from last weekend, and this weekend, a huge weekend for nerds, locally and non-locally. This is when the Birds of Prey movie finally comes out.
Yeah, I'm actually going to see it tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Nice.
Yeah, you get to see Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn again, and a whole bunch of other people. It's funny that the villains in this movie are kind of like third-tier Batman villains, like Victor Zsasz and Black Mask are the main villains of this particular movie. And then you've also got Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing the Huntress, which is going to be super cool. She was Ramona Flowers in the...
Who's Zsasz? Do you know off the top of your head?
Let me see. I've got the IMDb up here. Chris Messina. Victor
that name
Zsasz.
sounds familiar if I saw his face.
Let me pull.
Zsasz?
Yeah, he's in the comics and everything. He's the guy that's got all the check marks on it. Every time he kills somebody, he makes another mark.
The reason I asked
is
the guy who did it in Gotham was so good.
Right.
He was awesome.
That's okay. He's like the albino bald guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Zsasz? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he was also in that Barry show, which was really good.
Right.
He was really funny in that.
And Ewan McGregor is playing Black Mask. So that's going to be. I've seen some preview stuff with that.
This is what's going down in the Birds of Prey, because I don't
In
know
the Birds
any of
of
the
Prey
characters
movie.
other than Harley Quinn.
You're going to see Cassandra Cain, which ends up being Batgirl in the comics, which is pretty cool. And Renee Montoya, who is a Gotham police officer.
Okay.
They're all going to team up to take down Black Mask. It'd be pretty. It looks like a fun movie for sure. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this movie because the DC movies have been so eh.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they have kind of been but I feel like Margot Robbie's going to. That milkshake's going to bring all the boys to the yard.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I know that I will definitely be seeing it, but I won't have an opportunity to see it this weekend because we're going to be out at Astronomicon.
Yeah.
All weekend, happening at the Wyndham Gardens here in the Motor City in Sterling Heights. So many people. Have you gotten any of your any photo? You bought any of the photo stuff yet?
I've purchased my ticket to meet Alexa Bliss on Sunday. I'm going to get my Royal Rumble chair signed.
Excellent.
And I've secured the opportunity to have my hair cut by the one and only Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I'm hoping with the hedge trimmers. I don't know if I got to bring my own hedge trimmers or not. But, those are the two big ones that I'm going to be involved with.
Right.
I'm sure I'll be hanging out with the Twisted Guys a little bit.
Yeah, I know that you'll be out there on Saturday for a couple hours. I'm sure I'll see you then. And then you said you're doing something Friday as well.
Yeah, Friday I'm the guest lifeguard for the first and last Astronomicon pool party.
So,
I got permission to wear a man thong around the pool. I'm going to yell at people for running, make sure nobody drowns. And Sunday I'll be hosting wrestling trivia.
Nice.
So I will actually be there all weekend.
Are you working at, are they handing you questions or do you have to come up with them?
Oh, no, they have these questions have already been written.
Excellent.
I don't have time to sit and write trivia questions about wrestling because my knowledge is casual. I'm casually knowledgeable. So
James, casually knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. And the Rips Man Food and Bruises Friday too. So while you're walking around in a thong, I'm gonna be getting me some food.
Well, see, the pool party is before the Man Food and Brews. So maybe coming to get dinner since my fiance is working an event in another location. So I'll go get me some free grub.
Yeah, for sure. I know that Amy is shooting. She's doing photographs for some concert or something that night. So I'm like, well, I'm going to get some food. I don't know what you're doing.
Free lunch.
But yeah, Astronomicon is going to be a great time. If you want to go back in the archives, just a couple of weeks ago, I got to talk to David Howard Thornton, who was Art the Clown in Terrifier. He's going to be out there at Astronomicon. Charles Fleischer, Roger Rabbit, going to be out there. Kevin Eastman, Ninja Turtles, and both the guys from Clerks, Dante and Randall.
Yeah, that's a big deal, those guys. Like, it's a big reunion.
Yeah, I know. I've seen Dante was at a Comic-Con here about 4 or 5 years ago, but I guess the guy who plays Randall, Jeff Anderson, doesn't do cons. So it's a big deal that he's going to be there.
Is a big deal and be able to do that reunion.
And Dante is supposed to be there that day.
Yes.
He is, yeah. No, he is scheduled that day. So
he's on the schedule.
I'm sure plenty of people ask him to say he's not even supposed to be here today. No, it'll be a fun time. And something else that's happening this weekend that I'm super bummed that I'm going to miss out on is Netflix is dropping the first season of Lock and Key.
You reminded me about that Monday or Tuesday, and I didn't realize it was coming up that quick.
Lock and Key is quite possibly one of the coolest comics I've read in the last maybe 10 years, if not ever. It's definitely my top 5
This is the one where the dog, like a human, can see what it's like to be a dog, and you're joking that I would
Yep.
just end up looking at my genitals.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, these.
That does seem like a joke we would make.
Yes. A mother and her 3 kids move into a house after a family tragedy. That the kids can hear these whispers in the walls, and they find these different keys that open different doors that give them different magical abilities, which is kind of fun. And there's some horror in there. It's written by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son. The comic is fantastic.
It is very good.
The writing and the art is just amazing stuff. And
I know they've been pumping up like promo little clips on Netflix for it. So, but I haven't watched any of them.
I haven't seen any of those promos. I knew it was coming. You had mentioned it here on the podcast, and I did read the comics. That was one of the things that Chuck lent to me, and it took about a year to even start it, and then I blew right through them because it was really
very good, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's cool stuff.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, looking at the stack of trades next to me was really intimidating, so it took me forever to get to it. Once I started, I couldn't stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had to make sure that we were done with The Witcher before we got through Lock and Key, so we finished that a couple of days ago. And it ends real strange. It ends like we're definitely coming back for a second season.
Witcher?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can repeat pretty much what I said about it when I was watching it earlier, that it's a great...
Now, you played some of the games.
I've never touched the games.
You never touched the games?
No,
okay.
I never played the books, never touched the games. So this is my first experience with the world of The Witcher, which I feel like was cooler because there's a lot of stuff that happens that you just got to go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like somewhere in episode 5 or 6, there's like, they haven't mentioned dragons up to this point, but there's dragons. And you're like, okay, it's a fantasy world, sure. Why wouldn't there be dragons?
Sure. Okay, because that was going to be my next question. I thought you had played one of the games. Have you played any of the games or anything? Are you familiar?
No, I don't know anything about. Are there any like ancient alien warlords?
There are not.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
So there's no sci-fi kind of stuff.
Okay. Because all of my familiarity going into it is I've heard the title before, and that's it.
Yeah.
Is the main character a witcher? Is he a witch hunter?
He's called a witcher. It's kind of like a D&D class of monster hunter.
Okay.
He goes from town to town, and if they're having problems with a vampire or werewolves or
so it's
some
like
kind of monster.
it's like a medieval times version of Lorenzo Lamas's Renegade.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Cruising around on his motorcycle, rolling into town. You guys got trouble with gang members? Well, talk to my Native American master friend here and my hot girlfriend, and we will take care of the issues.
Nice. He's got a horse named Roach.
Oh, okay.
Pretty fun. That's what I was telling Amy when we got done with it. It's funny because I am more invested in the characters and their interactions with each other than the actual world building of, like, there's a big war that happens near the end of the first season, and I'm like, I don't care. I want to see Geralt the Witcher dealing with the Bard because they have a real fun dynamic where, like, he's super annoyed with the Bard at all times, and the Bard.
That's good. That means it's good writing if you're that vested in the characters.
Yeah.
You know.
And I like each particular episode is like they're 1 hour episodes, 45 minutes roughly. But each particular episode is like one mission or something like that. Like he rolls into town and they have a problem and he agrees to take care of it.
Similar to Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly. And I dig that. I like that storytelling.
The whole story gets wrapped
well.
up, but it also still contributes to the long-term story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's definitely stuff going on in the middle of it too. So I recommend it, especially if you're into fantasy stuff. I'm not super into fantasy stuff, but I thought I had a fun time.
Yeah,
I thought it was a cool show.
Is Henry Cavill believable with that white hair?
He is.
Okay.
It's the eyes that bug me.
Yeah, because they go kind of cross-eyed. You're saying, right?
Yeah, it's real strange.
Every time Henry Cavill's looking at me with that white hair and those yellow cross eyes, I get all funny inside.
Yeah, and you can tell if somebody's a main character because they've got different colored eyes. Like there's a witch or a mage named Yennefer that has like purple eyes, and there's this little girl running around that's got like these very, very blue eyes.
Okay.
If somebody's got a weird color of eye, they must be a main character in The Witcher. I also caught up on the second episode of Star Trek Picard.
Oh, very nice.
Digging that, and I was thrown in this particular episode by the fact that 2 different people drop an F-bomb.
Woo!
And then I was like, oh, well, it's CBS All Access, so, you don't have to worry about that stuff. But a Star Trek show where people say fuck.
Whoa!
Oh, my God.
DMX in the house.
And after seeing, like, I had to turn
I missed the second one.
I had to turn the subtitles on the first time I heard it. And I'm like, did she just say no? And I had to backtrack it and turn the subtitles on to see it. And then it happened a second time, and I was like, are they going to let Patrick Stewart say
the F word?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Fudge.
Yeah.
Has Patrick Stewart, as the character of Picard, ever cursed throughout any of the movies, the series?
Well,
does he have a potty mouth?
In the very first episode, he says "married," which is, of course, the French word for S.
Okay.
I figure, well, here's the thing. Well, like DMX is like.
Does DMX speak in French?
Does he speak in French or not? You know, I mean,
he does.
But I love the idea of DMXing out both words. Merde, which of course is the French word for shit. Yeah. So, wait, what's the word for what? I love. Yeah, so that's what it was. The choice I made there was to try and. but the thing is, like, that is like a French swear word.
Yeah.
And it is on the broadcast television of Star Trek The Next Generation in Encounter at Farpoint.
Yeah, because they were like, until we have to put this over in France. Like, well, nobody's going to know this is a bad word. In France,
they just dub over shit, you know?
Right. Yeah.
You're like, what? What is that weird American word?
Yeah.
Shit.
But it's so interesting to me that did make it, whatever. But
DMX is going to be all over this particular conversation.
Hope you're writing down some time.
Yeah, right.
Get the 4cam up for DMX.
It's a great show.
It is.
I'm really.
But I will say though, I don't like slipping the swear words into Star Trek. I mean, it's
right. It feels strange.
You have and I'm certainly by no means offended by swear words at all. The only sensitivity I have to it is our job. Like sometimes I'll be listening to a song like an Apple Music or something, and I'll hear a swear word and I freak out a little bit. Oh wait, I'm not on the air. It doesn't matter. But I don't know. Like I feel like it makes it slightly less accessible when you make it slightly less family friendly.
I was gonna say I think them slipping that in is trying to make it more accessible. Like it's the Star Trek universe could be your
Listen, is an F-bomb gonna make James show up to it? Like knowing that there's an F-bomb in Star Trek, do you feel like you want to show up and watch this show now?
Kind of. To be honest, kind of.
Undoing my point.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't tune in just so I can hear like Patrick Stewart say the F word.
Right.
That's not a big deal. But I feel like putting that in there makes all those characters a little more relatable to normal people that use the F word in regular conversation. You know?
I actually can sell you on The Witcher because Henry Cavill says the F word at least 4 times throughout the season.
Nice.
It's almost his catchphrase.
Oh,
like in the very first episode, he gets surrounded by all these guys and he tells them like, you don't want to do this. Like you're all going to die. Mm-hmm. And then they all draw their swords and he just looks at the ground and goes, fuck. Oh. And that's it. Like it became, after the second time he did it, it became a thing where every time he do it, I'd laugh.
That is, well, the place and time that happens, I don't think they use that word. You know, so I feel like as to what you're saying in terms of
it's
like
the difference
it kind of
between
doesn't belong in there.
Yeah,
it doesn't also belong in there. But to the same token, to me, I see the F word being in Star Trek the same as Luke Skywalker dusting his shoulder off before he fights an entire fleet of Imperial officers.
That was where I was actually going to go. Is like I don't think anybody swore in a Star Wars that I can remember, and that would feel real weird.
Yeah, if somebody said the F word in Star Wars, I'd be like,
the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon starts, doing that thing where it's sputtering after Han. He's like, "What the shit?" Like it'd be really weird.
Oh my God! I feel like the title of this episode has got to be so much DMX.
So much DMX.
But yeah, no, that's how I feel about it though. Like I do love the idea that the people who normal people use the F word are underrepresented in the world.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Like we don't have Trek.
We don't have Joe Pesci.
It's a word. It's a word. Get over it. Like,
now I do want Joe Pesci to make a guest appearance in Star Trek. Something.
Yeah.
What am I, a clown?
That's the other
thing. Am I a Starfleet officer?
Yeah.
Am I making you laugh?
Yeah.
Am I
here to command you?
Yeah. Am I commanding you? Are we going to? I forget the.
Do you understand me? Do you have a universal translator?
And say, do we go to infinity and beyond? But that's Buzz Lightyear.
It's Buzz Lightyear.
We're going where no man. You think I'm going to go nowhere no man's gone before?
Beep beep. Security. Get your shine box.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that's the other thing about watching Star Trek Picard is watching Patrick Stewart interact with the people who are like putting together his crew for his mission. I wish he would come back. I wish Marvel would pay out whatever he wants to make him come back to do a show on the Disney stuff where he's Professor Xavier, and it's just like this series of shows about mutant kids, and he's just like he just shows up. They get their powers, something terrible happens, and then he shows up at the end of the episode. He's like, "Come to my school.
Well,
I will teach you."
I'd watch that.
I do have to address something you just said about him gathering his crew.
Okay,
like I think even James could relate to this moment on the show of Picard, where there's like. Where he's got to go do a thing and he's got to assemble basically a crew. And he's like, well, of course, I could call LaForge and Worf and Riker, and they would all answer my call. And as a nerd, you're like, yes. He's like, but I won't do that. I'm like, son of a bitch! Oh, God damn it! Do it! Call them all!
Gotcha!
Patrick Stewart, you cock tease! You cock tease, you son of a bitch, Patrick Stewart! You're showing me those bosoms. You're bending over, but you're not going to let me have my way. Damn you!
There's the title of the episode, Patrick Stewart's bosoms.
Showing us those bosoms.
There's more work for DMX.
And here's something I wanted to. Honestly, I wish I had Steven for this too, because I don't know that he'd get the joke.
How the hell do you spell bosom?
BOSSUM.
It's not a U in bosom. It's an O.
Oh, is it?
BOSSOM. Friggin' spelling nerds here today.
Here's what you do: you put it in your phone and hit
autocorrect and see what happens.
Yes.
But here's the thing that I was listening to the X-Men podcast that I absolutely love. Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men, and it's an episode from like 2017. But they have listener questions at the end, and somebody asked them about they have the danger room in the mansion, which is essentially the holodeck.
Yeah.
And they were asking, do you think anyone has used the danger room for a bathroom? Like the bathroom is full in the house, so they just go down in the danger room and just like have it turn into a bathroom.
Brilliant.
And could it possibly do that? They had some nerdy, explanation about
Colossus has had a monster deuce
right.
in the danger room.
Dude, the Colossus can only deuce in the danger room.
Yeah, like his deuces are so lethal, he has to do them in the danger room. As a matter of fact,
any room that Colossus is deucing in is the danger room.
Yes.
But that also brought up the idea of, at any particular point, the Xavier Mansion has had a whole bunch of teenagers in it. And you can, they said, you cannot tell me that teenagers have, the capability to have a holodeck essentially and haven't used it for porn.
Yeah, well,
they're doing down this road.
They're doing the Will Riker.
Yeah,
right.
I was gonna say I would be in the danger room all the time.
And I mean that's something that's come up, with like Lieutenant Barclay in the Star Trek show. That the holodeck has absolutely been used for maybe not sexual escapades as far as the show's concerned.
I think there is an episode where something semi-sexual is happening, and Riker ends the scene by saying, like, "If you need me, I'll be in the holodeck." I'm not even kidding. It's not a joke. I am pretty sure that it's canon.
Right.
That he went off to bang a holographic hooker.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say in the future, it's not like there's a janitor on the Star Trek Enterprise, so it's not like somebody's job to clean the holodeck.
Like peep show mop guy.
Yeah, there's certainly
no
not a peep show mop guy. Right.
You're right.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. And when the holographic emitters shut off, that's all that's left.
Yeah. Right, but that's what I wanted to ask you, the Star Trek nerd, is there with the what are the things they make the food with and everything like that?
Oh, the replicators.
Yeah, the replicators. Is there something they can do with the replicators that makes it so that they can just like sanitize the holodeck after every person's been in there?
Well, there is a theory that what happens to our waste is all the matter is broken down and eventually is recycled into
they use it to make the food in the replicator?
Partially. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
when
gross.
you think about it, because it's all everything around us is nothing but matter, and that's what the replicators work similarly on the fictional science of the transporters.
Man, I just got
transferring matter.
I got this thing of chocolate pudding out of the replicator. It is really bitter and gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buffer's broken.
So gritty.
It doesn't taste like chocolate. Somebody in engineering needs to fix the replicator.
Oh man, can we get some sugar in here or something to sweeten it up? It's real bitter and
why is there corn in this pudding?
That might be how they came up with that mac and cheese ice cream.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. But like the sexual stuff, they poked fun of that on the Orville.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode on the Orville where the one guy was addicted to going into that room and
oh, for sure,
having sexual interactions with a holographic being.
You know there's got to be people on the ship too that if you go to the holodeck and you always check who was in here last. Oh, I'm not using this one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. I know what he did in here.
Yeah.
I'm not using this one.
Or if you do go in there, bring a mop.
Mentioning the Orville though, sci-fi comedy, man, that Avenue 5, I was telling you about that. It's a new show on HBO. Dude, it's really good.
Well, I'm glad you brought up a new show because explain to me, you have Apple TV.
Yes.
You were telling me, in fact, we'll talk about it in the next segment. You were telling me you were catching up on Doctor Who because you bought the season pass on Apple TV. What is Apple TV Plus?
Oh, that's like another streaming service.
Okay.
I have not. That's where the that morning show, whatever, the thing with Steve Carell.
And Jennifer Aniston? Okay.
Yeah. That's what that's on. But yeah, Apple's trying to get into the streaming service game.
Right. Because I saw a story saying that shockingly few people are taking advantage of their free year of Apple TV Plus. Like if you bought a iPod, an iPad Touch, or an iPod Touch, an iPad, or an iPhone, or a new Mac.
They still make iPods?
I guess.
Wow.
But if you bought those from stores, you get a free year of Apple TV Plus. And a lot of people just aren't even cashing in on it.
I didn't know you could do that. I just got a new iPhone. Does it count if I got it through Verizon?
Maybe. I don't know. Check with, look it up, man.
Dude, a lot of times stuff like that happens if you buy an Apple product through like even Best Buy or something. You'll get a free year of Apple Music.
Right.
If you
or
I don't know if it's
Verizon to get the Disney.
Yeah.
For a year.
I don't know if it's like an existing customer thing or not, or if I already subscribed to Apple Music. Can I resubscribe, or I don't know. But I had heard that. I think Dave from the morning show had gotten a free year. That's how he got it. He just bought an Apple product.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
That.
But
I don't think there's anything I want to stream on it, but
if I had it for free, I would check out the Steve Carell show.
Yeah.
But like Jason Momoa's got some show on there too, and it doesn't look interesting at all.
Right.
Is the Steve Carell thing a show or is it a movie?
It's a show, I think.
Okay. The thing with Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the morning show thing. I think. But again, I haven't really looked into
it's
it
the
that
one
much.
that's like taking kind of, it's loosely based around the, whatchamacallit, Matt.
Lauer.
Lauer, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
But
there was like an Apollo 11 show too or something. Like I can't remember if it was like it might have been like a revisionist history type of show. Like what if Apollo 11 went differently or something.
Right.
There was some sort of space show too on there that looked really cool. And I was like, Apple TV Plus. It's like, go F yourself. I'm out.
Well, there's a new show on Apple TV Plus coming out this Friday called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. It's a sitcom put together by Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Day, yeah.
Yeah, and it is...
Mac and Charlie.
Yeah, Mac and Charlie, and it takes place in a gaming company that is making a new expansion.
I think I saw a little preview for this on YouTube, but I skipped the ad.
Right. Yeah, but from what I can see, they're both in it. Danny Pudi from Community that played Troy or Abed.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
He's also in it. And
so it almost sounds like a streaming version of the Silicon Valley.
That's what they said. It's a little bit. You get the guys from It's Always Sunny and then kind of mix it with Silicon Valley, and it's not quite as dirty as you would expect.
No,
between the two of them.
Well, that's
the review that I'd read on CBR.com said that you would wish that it was a little bit more, push the boundaries a little bit more, but the concept sounds fun.
Yeah, I like the idea of it, and it sounds like they got a good cast of players.
Right, for sure. So Al does not have Apple TV Plus. That was my main question.
No, I just have the device.
All right. Well, then fair. That's all I got to say about Apple TV Plus. We're going to come back in just a minute. We got some more.
So we
Nerd
will
Radio.
not be discussing that.
We
in
will
the next
not
segment.
be discussing that in the next segment. However, we will get to what's going on in the new.
Blew the tease. Come on to the next.
There we go. However, we will be talking about what's going on in the next Doctor Who, or in the new season of Doctor Who. So, can I turn your mic back on now? Or are you gonna?
I don't know if I'm going to play anymore.
You gonna be a good boy, Al?
We're coming back with
Hurry
Nerd
up
Radio.
so I can start. I want to sit back down.